afternoon. Let me begin today's briefing by sharing with you the situation in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The inhuman military siege, extrajudicial killings, communications blockade, media blackout, and restrictions on all forms of fundamental freedoms of Kashmiri people continue unabated for 410 days. Over 800 million people in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir remain cut off from rest of the world, having turned the entire valley into a prison. In unabated extrajudicial killings, Indian occupation forces have martyred 5 more innocent Kashmiris during the past 3 days. Those martyred in fake encounters and cordon and search operations include a young woman and a 23-year-old shopkeeper from Sopur region who was killed by torture in police custody. In continuing crackdown on the media, 2 journalists were brutally injured by Indian occupation forces in Pulwama. These journalists were covering the illegal cordon and search operations launched by the Indian occupation troops. The only crime of these journalists was their reporting of extrajudicial killings of innocent Kashmiris by the occupation forces. More than 300 innocent Kashmiris, including women and children, have been martyred by the Indian occupation forces during the last 1 year. Pakistan condemns these gross and systematic human rights violations, which have been extensively documented by the UN human rights organs and international human rights organizations. Pakistan welcomes the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet's reiteration of serious concerns on unabated state-perpetrated violence in IIOJK, including indiscriminate use of pellet guns on civilians. The High Commissioner's remarks at the 45th session of Human Rights Council on the global human rights situation reinforce the serious concerns that have been repeatedly expressed by Pakistan, international media, and the global human rights organizations. Pakistan strongly condemns continued Indian attempts to illegally change the demographic structure of IIOJK. Reportedly, Indian authorities have illegally distributed over 1.6 million fake domiciles to non-Kashmiris. The Indian actions are in clear violation of the UN Security Council resolutions and international law, including the 4th Geneva Convention. Pakistan continues to call upon the Indian government to immediately restore internet, release all prisoners, especially civil society members, journalists, and the abducted young children, remove Armed Forces Special Powers Act, Public Safety Act, and other draconian laws, and allow independent media and international human rights observers to visit the region to independently observe the situation of Kashmiri people. In attempts to divert world attention, India continues to escalate tensions along the line of control. The recent ceasefire violations by India on 11th, 13th, and 17th of September have resulted in 1 shahadat and serious injuries to 7. This year, India has committed 2,280 ceasefire violations to date, resulting in 18 shahadats and serious injuries to 183 innocent civilians. Pakistan rejects baseless assertions made by Indian Minister of State for External Affairs in Rajya Sabha yesterday. With its gross and systematic human rights violations and state terrorism in IIOJK, India cannot mislead the world community by leveling unfounded allegations against others. It is India that has vitiated the atmosphere with its illegal and unilateral measures of 5 August 2019 in IIOJK, and with continuous belligerent rhetoric and aggressive actions. The onus is on India to create an enabling environment by rescinding its illegal and unilateral actions, ending its state terrorism against the Kashmiri people, and agreeing to resolve the Jammu and Kashmir dispute in accordance with international legitimacy. Pakistan has once again registered its serious concerns over the Jodhpur incident in which 11 Pakistani Hindus, including children and women, were found dead under mysterious circumstances in Jodhpur, India on 9 August 2020. The Indian CDA was summoned to reiterate Pakistan's demands for a comprehensive investigation into the matter, provision of access to the surviving member of the family, sharing of copies of FIR and the initial investigation report without further delay. It was emphasized to the Indian CDA that since the victims of Jodhpur incident were Pakistan nationals, it was incumbent upon the government of Pakistan to be fully aware of the circumstances under which its nationals died in India. High-level week and the General Assembly of the 75th session of the UN General Assembly will commence on 22nd of September 2020. Due to restrictions imposed by the local government in New York, there will be no in-person high-level participation from outside. Prime Minister Imran Khan will address the General Assembly on Friday, 25th of September. The Foreign Minister will participate virtually in the high-level meeting of the General Assembly to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the United Nations. He will also participate in other high-level engagements of the General Assembly. This week, Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi held a telephone conversation with Saudi Minister of State, Mr. Adil Al-Jubair. Underscoring close Pakistan-Saudi fraternal ties, the Foreign Minister reaffirmed commitment to further enhance these strategic ties between the two countries. The two ministers reviewed bilateral cooperation and agreed to intensify bilateral exchanges. At the opening ceremony of intra-Afghan negotiations in Qatar, Foreign Minister Qureshi stated that the world had begun acknowledging Pakistan's position that there was no military solution to the conflict in Afghanistan. The Foreign Minister added that Pakistan had fully facilitated the process that culminated in the US-Taliban peace agreement in Doha in February 2020 and had reached this crucial juncture. It was now for the Afghan leaders to seize this historic opportunity, work together constructively, and secure an inclusive, broad-based, and comprehensive political settlement leading to durable peace in Afghanistan. Afghan Acting Foreign Minister, Mr. Hanif Atmar, also endorsed the views of the Foreign Minister and appreciated Pakistan's support for lasting peace in Afghanistan. We hope that all sides will honor their respective commitments, persevere in the face of all challenges and setbacks, and remain resolutely committed to achieving a positive outcome of the negotiations. Pakistan will always support a peaceful, stable, united, democratic, prosperous, and sovereign Afghanistan at peace with itself and peace with its neighbors. In his recent visit to Pakistan, US Special Representative for Afghanistan, Ambassador Zalmay Khalilzad, greatly appreciated Pakistan's role in the ongoing peace process. He acknowledged that the peace process could not have succeeded without Pakistan's sincere and unconditional support for the process. Separately, Foreign Minister Qureshi participated in the 27th ASEAN Regional Forum held in a virtual mode. In his remarks, the Foreign Minister called for a concerted international effort to fight the COVID-19 pandemic and to develop a vaccine that is accessible to all as a global public good. The Foreign Minister also apprised the Forum about the progress made by Pakistan in the field of counter-terrorism. Furthermore, he urged the ASEAN Regional Forum members to raise voice against the rise of Islamophobia and extremist tendencies in the region and around the globe. The Foreign Minister condemned moves by states to alter the demographics of disputed territories under their illegal occupation and stressed the importance of peaceful resolution of disputes according to the relevant United Nations Security Council resolutions. Separately, on the joint statement of US-India Counter-Terrorism Joint Working Group and Designate Dialogue, Pakistan strongly rejects the unwarranted reference in the joint statement to Pakistan. Our serious concerns and rejection of the unacceptable reference to Pakistan in the statement have already been conveyed to the US side. We believe that it is important that partner countries take an objective view of the issues of peace and security in South Asia and refrain from endorsing positions that are one-sided and divorced from ground realities. The international community is well aware that Pakistan is the country most affected by cross-border terrorism sponsored and supported by India. The international community also recognizes Pakistan's efforts, sacrifices, and the success in its fight against terrorism. Pakistan strongly condemns the recent missile and drone strikes by Houthis against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Such attacks are in violation of the kingdom's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Pakistan fully supports the kingdom's right to defend itself against any aggression. Pakistan has consistently urged all parties to the conflict in Yemen to engage in a meaningful and peaceful dialogue to end the hostilities in line with the UN Security Council Resolution 2216. In this regard, we appreciate the positive step taken by the coalition to restore legitimacy in Yemen when it unilaterally declared ceasefire earlier this year. It is, however, regrettable that this step was not reciprocated positively. The fifth session of Pakistan-Germany Strategic Dialogue was held virtually on 10 September 2020. Foreign Secretary Suhail Mahmood and State Secretary Miguel Berger of the Federal Foreign Office of Germany led their respective sides. The two sides took stock of the whole range of bilateral relations, including political, economic, trade, investment, education, and cultural ties. The Foreign Secretary emphasized that the regional security situation had become perilous following India's illegal and unilateral actions in IIOJK on 5th September 2019. The two sides also exchanged views on regional issues and cooperation at the international fora, including the UN and the European Union. The two sides agreed to continue close contact and mutual support on all issues of common interest. I thank you very much, and I'm happy to take any questions on these